Hello, Meade.
Hello. Just a minute. Let me start my video. Okay.
Hello, welcome, and Merry
Well,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, second day of Christmas. It's the feast of Saint Stephen.
Exactly. A great
Mm,
martyr. Martyr.
right. Yes. How was your day? How was your first day of Christmas? Did you get a lot of presents?
Actually, my mom and my sister don't celebrate the Western Christmas. They celebrate Russian, Serbian Orthodox Christmas. That is in January. So I didn't have
That's right,
yet.
January.
So in January 7th. So I didn't have yet my presents.
Well,
But
that's good.
I celebrate both Christmas, Western and Orthodox, and I bought a present for my sister. And I have a present for a friend. I was
Okay.
at the mall. I spent some time at the mall, and yes, I was listening to music and I had a nice time. And you?
Yes. Yes, I did too. It was we were nice and warm this Christmas. We were in the 70s, low 70s, and it was a beautiful weather. I rode my bike and I wished everyone a Merry Christmas on Christmas Eve, and the stores were packed. And unfortunately, the church we usually go to, or some of the churches, have mask requirements. So we did not go to church on Christmas Eve. We went to a church on Christmas Day, the Anglican church, and they didn't require any masks. So we went there, and it was a very nice low key service. And we came home yesterday at 12 noon, and we opened all our presents. And then at 3 o'clock, we had a beautiful ham dinner. Well, we had a ham dinner with cornbread, dressing, and we'll have beautiful, wonderful biscuits. We love our biscuits and ham, and it was just wonderful. And it was really nice. Except, and then we usually go down to the hotel. There's a hotel downtown, and they wouldn't let us in without a reservation. I guess because of all the COVID thing, they wouldn't let us in. So we just went back home. We had a cake. We got a cake, and it says "Happy Birthday, Jesus" on it, and we had that. So it was a nice Christmas. It was very enjoyable.
That is great. That is very jolly and merry.
It was. And what's really weird though is that in the city, normally like downtown, they have these big Christmas trees all over, and one of the hotels was closed. So they didn't have any Christmas decorations up. They had a few lights in the windows, and it just didn't feel very spirited. But at home, it was very much. Everybody else in the neighborhood was nice. We invited some neighbors over, and we had Christmas. We had coffee and dessert, and they looked at our Christmas trees. And we have a couple of Christmas trees. I have one in the dining room and one in the front parlor, and we just enjoy that every year. And I play my Christmas records. I have all these records that I play. So it's a big deal. Christmas is a big deal here in America, and a lot of our Christmas stuff here comes from where you are. I think in Austria and Germany, a lot of our traditions.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
Austrian tradition is here in Austria. Tradition is to eat sausages and sauerkraut on Christmas Eve. Do you do that too?
We don't have that, but what's really like Germany and Austria is our Christmas tree tradition, and the way we have our everything set up is a lot like Germanic people do. We do the same kind of thing. We have 12 days of Christmas, but on Christmas Eve, most people here go to church as part like at towards like midnight, and then we open our presents on Christmas Day.
Yes, that's here too. People go at midnight to mass. Austria
Mhm.
is mostly Catholic. I don't know how it's in northern Germany where it's mostly Protestant. But the guys
Mhm.
they do the same thing. They go to mass at midnight.
Well, the Protestant churches also do that. Some don't, but a lot of the Episcopal Church, Anglican churches have their mass starts at 11 and it goes through midnight. and it's really neat. And then usually after we used to go to church, we'd all gather on and outside, and we have candles all lit, and we'd all sing Silent Night, before we left church. And that was really neat to do that. And we kind of exit the church with our candles. But this year we didn't do that.
I did hear it before or read it that the Christmas tree originates in Germany. The Germans were the first to have a Christmas tree, and then it slowly came to England and to other countries. But the Germans were the first to have a Christmas tree. I didn't know that. Where the Christmas tree originates from.
Yes, and it came from Martin Luther. Martin Luther was the first. He saw a tree. Well, he saw a Christmas tree and it was in the snow. And he thought it was really pretty, so he took it inside and decorated it. And that's where our Christmas tree comes from. It doesn't come from the pagan tradition, which is very different than that. It comes from Martin Luther, and Lutheranism was the first to do the Christmas tree. And it represents that Jesus is the giver of life, and the tree represents life, and the lights on the trees represent the light that he was in the world.
Today is Stephen's Day, and in Austria on Stephen's Day there is a tradition to run horses and bless horses, I think. Pferdesegnung, they call it. And I saw it, that some do it in monasteries. I don't know how many people still do that, but in monasteries they still keep the tradition. And there's a similar tradition where I was born in Vojvodina in Serbia. In Serbia, in January, there is 3 days of Christmas. And on the 3rd day, they escort Christmas with horses and wagons. So they escort Christmas out with horses. And this is similar in Austria on 2nd day of Christmas on Stephen's Day.
I did not know that. I don't think we do that here, but we do have 12th night, which is on January 5th. And at 12th night, at many churches, they have a big dinner. Everybody comes together, we bring potluck food, and we sing Christmas carols, and we sort of, it's the end of Christmas. And then on January 6th is when Epiphany is. We take down our tree and everything, and we're in the season of Epiphany.
And was Santa good to you this year?
Yes, I got a lot of things. I got this nice shirt here. I also got a fish tank, like a 5-gallon fish tank, so I can start my fish. I want to get a big fish. I got some soap, and I got a nice tie from Brooks Brothers. It's a silk tie, and it's made in the United States. And then I got some candy, of course. And so I got a lot of nice things this Christmas. What did you get? Oh, that's right. You haven't had Christmas, right?
Yes.
What are you hoping to get?
I think I will get a shirt from my sister and maybe a blazer. And I will get clothes from my mom too. I usually want that. I usually want clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a wardrobe.
Yes, yeah, clothes are nice, and I like. Of course, I like presents. When I was little, I used to like to get video games. That was my favorite, to get Nintendo video games. And I like to get train sets for Christmas, and I usually got something like that. But as an adult, I'm more into the music. I'm more into the music and the real meaning of Christmas. And the presents are sort of like, the icing, like the secondary to me.
You say music, and I had the idea that we sing one of your songs at our show, for our show.
Yes, I'd be
Would you like to sing Yes, Say Yes, your religious song? I really love that song, The Perfect Will of God. This is really good. And it fits with Christmas because it's a religious song.
Yes.
Would you like if we sing it?
Sure, go ahead. If you'd like to sing it, that's fine with me.
Okay, but I don't know the text. Maybe you can sing it and I sing along.
Okay.
If you want.
All right. Do you want to play
Or
the?
you just play the soundtrack. Do you have the video, the soundtrack to play? And we sing
no.
along.
Let's see. Okay. Do you have it with you? Can you get it?
Yes, moment. Wait a
Okay.
moment.
Okay.
Cause I just want you here tonight, holding on to me so tight.
See if I can
Do
hear
you
it.
hear it?
Yes, I do hear it. I'll clear up a little bit. There we go.
So many times we put off our today for our tomorrow. The small still voice that we ignore may be a choice for sorrow, but the words that he has spoken are as plain as we can see, and there's never a good reason not to listen to the King. Say yes to what the Lord is asking of you.
For
You
what God is asking
on your
of
travels,
you.
and when you follow go
And when you follow
to the world
go
and speak the
out
words
into the
he has
world.
written on your mind and in your heart. For there's nothing like perfect will of God.
Oh, there's nothing like
The perfect will of God.
I wrote this song for church.
So wonderful.
And as you journey, as you follow, a peace will follow
As
you. Onward, upward, as you go, your courage will renew. For the words that he has spoken are as plain as we can see, and there's never a good reason not to listen to the King. Say yes to what the Lord is asking of you.
What the Lord is asking
On your
of
travels,
you.
and when you follow
Yes,
through,
you on your
go
travels.
bravely
And when
out into the world.
go bravely out into
And
the
speak the
world.
words he has written in your mind and on your heart. For there's nothing like perfect will of
Oh, there's
God.
nothing
like the perfect will of
Nothing
God.
like the perfect will of God.
Perfect will of God.
Say yes. Say yes. Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Wonderful, Meade. You're such a great talented man. Such a great talented musician.
Thank you. I wrote that for actually the choir director at my church was having the minister was doing a sermon on saying yes to what God is calling you to do, and so I wrote that kind of on the spot, and I got it the night before, and then she liked the lyrics so much that she read it to the congregation before we sang it. So that was nice because she's very, the choir director was very big on the words, and I think the lyrics are a big part of the music for me.
I really got goosebumps. The lyrics are striking.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was fun to do. And I'll tell you what, I'll make an instrumental. I'll take the vocals out, and I can send you an instrumental copy so you can sing it karaoke.
Thanks very much, my friend. That is appreciated.
Yeah.
And I watched your video, Christmas Memories, and you mentioned a Christmas song, and there are five European countries, and Germany, Spain, France, England, and that you have been there as a child, or have you been again there?
Oh, and at Christmas Town, yes. Well, there's a place called Busch Gardens, and it's they have different countries. They have England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Germany, and Spain, and Italy. And so, mostly, all the big, well-known countries. You can go to all the different countries, but I haven't been there since 2014. That video was from 7 years ago. But they have every Christmas they do what they call Christmas Time. So they do Christmas all over Europe. So you walk to these different countries, and you take a train. It's like you're going into all these different European countries, and you can see all the different, traditions of each country. So it's kind of neat to do that.
I really enjoy Christmas, and I think Christmas is really wonderful because it's the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
No, there's a guy on Facebook who claims that Christmas is pagan. What do you think of that? I don't think that.
Mm-mm. No, this has been going on for a while, and I'll tell you why they're doing this is because ultimately they want us to stop celebrating Christmas by convincing us that we're celebrating a pagan holiday, because they want to get rid of Christmas altogether. And this is started by the atheists, and I don't know if I don't think the Jews care about it, but a lot of the atheists and people like that are trying to say, oh, Christmas is pagan, but this is not true, because actually it's based on half-truths. So yes, it's true that pagans worship trees and they had different things that are similar, but the Christian traditions are actually predate some of the pagan ones. So, and also the main part about Christmas is the gift giving, and that comes from obviously the story of the Magi, the wise kings that gave gold, frankincense, and myrrh to Jesus. That's why we give presents at Christmas. It has nothing to do with pagan. And our Christmas trees, as we said earlier, has to do with Martin Luther, who started the German tradition of Christmas trees. So a lot of this can be debunked, and there's a lot of pastors and ministers that can debunk all of this. But the sad part is that there are Christians who are not celebrating Christmas anymore because they think it's pagan. And that's the goal of these people, is to get us to stop. Because when you think about it, Satan hates that we celebrate Christmas because it's the only time of year when the secular world gets to hear all the Christmas music and the Christmas songs and the Christmas trees and all that. So he wants us to stop celebrating all of that. And that's what I think about that. I think it's a ploy to get us to stop celebrating Christmas.
Wonderful narrative. I love this. Yes, and I did read on a Catholic educational site, I did read about the Christian traditions and Christian origins of Christmas. I can send you the link if you want.
Okay, yes, I'd like to read it.
Yes, and this is debunks the narrative that Christmas is pagan.
Yes, it's definitely not pagan. And another thing, December 25th is not even the day of winter solstice. Winter solstice is December 21st, and so they can't even argue that. But we don't really know when Jesus was born. It's possible that he was born in the winter because there's evidence that he was born in the winter. But one of the people that argue that Christmas is pagan is they argue that he was born in the spring. But that we don't have any evidence that he was born in the spring. So, and it really doesn't matter when he was born. We observe, his birth at December or January, and that's on the part of the church calendar. So it's really irrelevant if he was born in December or not. And that's my answer to that, is that it doesn't matter. It's the fact that we celebrate as Christians, we acknowledge that a miracle happened, you know, miracle birth happened, and we celebrate it.
Yes, amen.
Yeah.
In, at my home, at my home for Christmas, we used to bake a pie. My mom bakes a pie, and we put a coin in it. And who finds the coin has luck. Do you have any such similar tradition?
I've never heard of that at Christmas. What we used to do in America is we would have blackbird pie. They'd actually put real birds in a pie. And I don't know why they do that. And then it was part of a show or something, and they cut open the pie, and the birds would fly out into the air, and it was part of giving someone, saying, you know, you're welcome here. This is doing that. We don't have anything like, as far as I can tell, and I think mostly, like in the United States, our Christmas has gotten very commercial, so it's all about the retail stores, and the retail stores here, they start putting up Christmas at, you know, right after Halloween. They put up the Christmas tree and the stuff, and then right after New Year's, everything comes down, and so that's the commercial Christmas, and that's what most people are used to.
Yes, but I think it's quite jolly.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I think this Santa Coke commercial dates back to 1930, so it does have a tradition by now.
Well, yes.
Santa with the Coke, this Coca-Cola Santa commercial. I think Coca-Cola made Santa prominent. Is that true?
Yes, we have Santa Claus in a lot of our commercials. Santa Claus is a big thing over here, and it doesn't bother me because, you know, Santa Claus is based on St. Nicholas of Myra, and so it was a real person. But I do think we should tell the, you know, children should know the real story behind all that. But yeah, Santa Claus is everywhere. That's our big, for Christmas, it's all about Santa Claus and the reindeer, and Rudolph. Rudolph is actually a big thing here. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And there's a special about that, and a lot of people like to watch that at Christmas.
What is your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie, well, the local theater here plays a Christmas movie called It's a Wonderful Life, and it's an old movie with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed, and I like that movie. It's a little bit corny, but I like the acting is really good, and it's a story about well, he in the movie, he wishes he'd never been born, and then the angel comes and shows him what it'd be like if he never existed, and how much his life affected everybody else. And it was kind of a good movie. I also like Rudolph, of course. I like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, that was done in claymation. I like Miracle on 34th Street, and there's another movie I can't think of, but what they do, we have a channel called Hallmark, and they put out all these Christmas movies every year, but they're very they're not really my favorite kind of movies because they're mostly romance movies, and they're mostly very cheesy, like very, you know, like it's always about some girl and a guy, and they have a misunderstanding, and then they make up. It has very little to do with Christmas, but it's always set at Christmas, and they turn out like hundreds of these every year, but I'm not into those.
Now in the Christmas season, they released a movie. It's named Clifford the Big Red Dog, and I really recommend it. I watched it in movie theaters last week. It's really merry and jolly and cute, and it's for family, for children, and it's good for Christmas. It is not really about Christmas, but they released it now for Christmas. Maybe you can watch it. And I also love the old story, the Three Christmas Ghosts. All the various versions. There are so many movies based on this story. The ghost of the past, the ghost of the present, and the ghost of the future. The Three Christmas Ghosts. I think it is from Dickens.
Oh yes, it's called A Christmas Carol.
Yes.
And I like that one too. My favorite one though is the 1950 version. It's with Alistair Sim. But yes, I like that one too.
Yes. And what will you do for New Year's celebration?
Oh, for New Year's?
Yes. What will you do? Will you celebrate at the party or be at home?
Oh, no, I'm not really into New Year's much. I just stay at home because a lot of people around here get drunk and they're out on the street and they can hit you with your car if you're not careful. So I stay at home and we watch television when they have the countdown on television for the new year. And then they usually have fireworks or something, but that's all I do for New Year's.
I usually do the same, stay at home, and I will have some friends over. And my family.
Yes, that's better. I'm not really into it. I don't drink and not into big parties.
Same here, I don't drink at all.
Yeah.
And I don't like drunk people.
No, I don't think so. I don't like that either. I understand, and if you get drunk, it's you don't know what you're going to do. You could do something really stupid.
Okay, we're coming now to an end, and I would like to ask you a last question.
Okay.
What is your favorite Christmas memory? What was your favorite Christmas? Do you remember any favorite Christmas in all your life?
Well, I can't remember a specific. I think I liked Christmas when I was a child. I look forward to Christmas, I think I've mentioned this story earlier, and I mentioned this in my Christmas special. But the most memorable Christmas was when I got to meet Oliver North at our church, and he's a military. Well, he's a famous military colonel, and so he was sitting in the pew in front of us, and we were singing. I think it was "Oh Come All You Faithful," and he turned around and we shook hands, and it was Oliver North, and I just thought that was a very memorable Christmas for me.
That is great, and I don't really know who the man is, but is he a war veteran? Maybe you can explain who he is. Is he a war veteran? Because I'm not American, I don't know who he is.
Okay, Oliver North was a famous colonel, and in the 1980s he was on trial for something called the Iran-Contra hearings, which had something to do with Iran and Contra hearings, I guess.
Okay.
And so he was all in the news. He was all over the news, and he was sort of a politician later because he had his own talk show, and he lived up in the mountains of Virginia where we were living, and so that's how I got to meet him. But he's like a very famous American military leader, and that was one of the memorable things.
And you often mention that Christmas is actually 12 days. Do you really celebrate 12 days?
Well, the thing is, and like most people, the everyday world doesn't do that. So most people have to go back to work or back to school, at least after New Year's. So, and we don't really celebrate 12 days, but we just sort of acknowledge that there's 12 days. So I still, I play Christmas music, and I might have some.
You're in the mood.
Yes, I'm in the mood for Christmas. A spirit.
Okay.
It's more of a spirit, and then it ends on January the 6th.
I really love this.
Yes.
Okay, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a
Merry
Happy New
Christmas.
Year.
Happy New Year.
And Meade, do you want to say something last?
No, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for having me on your program, and I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate everybody's support. All my people that subscribe, and I tell people subscribe to this channel too, and
I'm
support it.
really a meathead.
Yes,
I love all your songs.
Yeah.
Merry
Okay.
Christmas and Happy New Year, Meade.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye.